Hi, everyone. My name is Sam George. I lead Azure IoT for Microsoft. Today, I'm here with you to talk about an incredibly exciting topic for me, which is Azure IoT for operators. The industry is going through a fundamental and disruptive change, and that's including cloud as well as what's happening with operators. And I think it's a time of incredible opportunity for both of us, and we wanted to talk through that. A few years ago, our CEO Satya Nadella started talking about this notion of an intelligent cloud and an intelligent edge. And what we mean by that is that the fundamental compute paradigm that businesses use to operate is changing, right? It's not just about the cloud anymore. It's about having workloads that are spread out across the intelligent cloud and the intelligent edge. And what we mean by that is that not just workloads, but also intelligence is distributed across those two. Now, as a solution starts to span cloud and edge, it requires a set of technologies that are used to fuse that into a single unified solution that bridge this gap and make it so that workloads can be pushed out and distributed, that Azure can be the world's computer. And the world's computer just can't run in the data centers. It has to be able to run anywhere on any device. So all these capabilities that are used for fusing the intelligent cloud and the intelligent edge are pretty familiar at this point, right? We have IoT, we have edge computing, we have AI, we have digital twins increasingly that I'm going to be talking about, and then very importantly, 5G. And all of these technologies are in various states of maturity, right? They're all emerging from incubations to mainstream. And our job at Microsoft is a couplefold. One is to provide all of this technology, number one, but also we focus very deeply on partnerships. As the world transforms to take advantage of these technologies, as the world transforms to this new paradigm, that is not, in our opinion, a winner-take-all market. That very much requires ecosystems and partnerships to be able to help transform the world's businesses. We understand your priorities as operators. The world is changing, and you're looking for new ways to be able to find opportunities, to be able to reduce your overhead, to be able to take advantage of cloud technologies, to be able to power new scenarios using 5G, to be able to find new margins. And we are very much here as an eager partner to work with you and achieve those goals. Both 5G and IoT have a very, very tight relationship. As we look at this proliferation of solutions that span the intelligent cloud and the intelligent edge, it's very clear that we need breakthroughs in communication, in density. We need breakthroughs in being able to run edge computing anywhere at any network slice between the cloud and the physical devices themselves. And so 5G is incredibly important to IoT, and IoT is incredibly important to 5G. We've been investing in technologies such as IoT for many, many years now. And we also have a set of new opportunities and new investments that we've been making, like the Azure for Operators, as well as things like Azure Edge Zones. And so that's really an incredibly important part of both of those offerings. So we bundle all this and we talk about all this in light of this Azure for Operators, which is really helping our operator partners take advantage of cloud scale economics, take advantage of these new solutions, and really, combine the incredible trust that both of us have been able to offer to our combined customers and provide some really breakthrough capabilities. And I'm going to be talking about that. And I know Julia has already kicked off Azure for Operators, and if you look at the entire stack of offerings that we have in Azure for Operators, it goes everywhere from core connectivity up through edge connectivity and network capabilities. And then importantly, what I'm going to be talking about today is all of the cloud solutions that are available to our operator partners to take advantage of to provide new breakthrough businesses. So you see IoT up there at the top as one of those cloud solutions for operators. So I want to spend a little bit of time talking about what's in an IoT solution, how it's really a big opportunity for our mobile operator partners. And what's happening across the industry is that, years ago when IoT first got started, we saw it being primarily used, and still is today, for connected assets. And what I mean by that is we have companies that are connecting to devices and heavy assets that they had very little visibility into, whether that's elevators, whether that's airplanes, whether that's industrial pumps, whether that's wastewater treatment plants, you name it. There's millions of these types of scenarios, but they're primarily asset-based. And as you connect these solutions that are powered in the cloud out to the IoT devices themselves or these assets, you're doing things like predicting their maintenance needs, making sure that they're operational, making sure that you have visibility into how they're being used, how to optimize and improve future generations. So everything that we've been doing so far has really been about making it so that companies can take advantage of finding insights and providing better assets. What we're seeing now is a generational shift, not just from assets, but to connected environments. And I'm going to be explaining what we mean by that and what those capabilities look like and what the customers are taking advantage of in those, including Microsoft. And then just over the horizon, we see this shift towards connected ecosystems, where connected environments start partnering one-to-one or many-to-many. And so the world is getting increasingly connected with all of these. And these technologies that I've been talking about so far are really leading the charge. So first, I want to talk about connected assets. So when you're connecting an asset, when you're finding insights from something in near real time that you didn't have visibility into before, there's a huge set of capabilities that are required. You need to be able to securely connect to and manage those assets. You need to be able to store all of that data. You need to be able to rationalize over petabytes, perhaps, of time series data that's coming from that. You need to be able to find insights quickly. You need to be able to trigger informed actions and really integrate that into a business. A connected asset solution is not a standalone solution. It's really part of a larger business solution. So over the last 6 years, we've put together the most comprehensive IoT product portfolio in the industry. We've been rated a clear leader by analysts such as IDC and Gartner and Forrester for all of these offerings. And we've really provided an incredibly comprehensive stack. It starts all the way at the bottom that you see on the slide here from our IoT and edge device support. We have support that can run in as small of devices as tiny real-time operating system devices that run in as little as 32 kilobytes of memory, all the way up through fully operational multi-blade cloud services that'll run disconnected entirely on premises. We have a set of services for IoT that goes everywhere from connecting and managing large fleets of devices with millions of devices in production today, sending trillions of messages every single month. We have data and analytics services. We have business process integration services. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about this. Suffice to say, we have everything at the platform capability that our customers and partners have been looking for many years. And we haven't stopped there. We've also been making it easier and easier as we see mass market adoption start to happen for IoT and Edge. We've been providing easier and easier to use services that help any customer, anywhere, any partner take advantage of these technologies like IoT Central. And then finally, we've been going into each industry and figuring out who are all of the partners in those industries, what are their common needs, where can Microsoft play a role, and how can we really create a virtuous cycle of partners doing incredibly well in the Microsoft ecosystem for all of these industries. And all of this secured with Azure Security Center for IoT. Now, I understand that there's a whole lot of names of services that are on this slide. And for now, just know that we have an incredible set of offerings and leadership position. And more importantly, we have a broad set of developer trainings and certifications. The developer trainings are all free. They're up on the link that you see here, aka.ms, MS Learn IoT. All of those are free, and it covers every single service that we do. So all of your technical teams can quickly get up to speed on best practices for all of the services, the reference architectures, and best practices on putting together solutions. As you go through your learning experience, you can also get certified as a Azure Certified IoT Developer, which just really states that you've gone through a certification process and a testing process to prove that you've absorbed all of that information. Now, a big focus of ours, and I touched on this briefly before, but a big focus of ours is how do we take IoT from the realm of just a few companies that are able to take a very talented cloud solution and embedded developers and produce a solution to how can we mainstream IoT. So a big focus of ours has been over the last 3 years has been on simplifying IoT. And two of the most important ways that we've been doing that, first is an IoT Plug and Play, which I'm going to talk about in a second, and then also IoT Central. And both of those are incredible opportunities for our operator partners. So IoT Plug and Play bears a little bit of explanation. Today in IoT, what you see is that a lot of companies are wrestling with providing embedded software on an IoT device and having it match a solution in the cloud for that device. And what IoT Plug and Play does is it simplifies IoT to the same degree that Plug and Play simplified Windows with peripherals. Now, what's interesting about that is that back in the day, before Windows supported Plug and Play, in order to use a keyboard or a mouse or a microphone, you had to install specialized software for it. And Windows had to know about that device. Today, of course, you can just plug in anything and it just works. So we're doing the same thing, and it's going to be generally available this year. We're doing the same thing with IoT. And what that is that we have a declarative model where IoT devices can simply say what their capabilities are. Once they've said that, we have sophisticated software in Visual Studio Code where we can actually generate the embedded software for those devices that conform to that. And then that description winds up traveling along through this chain that you see of getting into our IoT Plug and Play certified catalog. And then any solution like IoT Central and many of our partner solutions that support IoT Plug and Play can then simply connect to these devices, and the devices simply appear, start sending data. You have dashboards that automatically appear. It really dramatically accelerates IoT. And our hero showcase for where we're showing off Plug and Play is in IoT Central. IoT Central is also an important part of our simplification of IoT, because what it does is that slide that I showed earlier where you see all of those different services, it uses all of those services under the cover, from IoT Hub and time series insights and all of those services that frankly you don't need to know about, you don't need to care about unless you want ultimate control over those. It takes advantage of all of those services, and all you do is attach devices to it that are plug and play, attach devices to it, and it automatically scales. It automatically grows with the solution, and you don't have to worry about things like high availability and disaster recovery, and did I scale up this service enough to match that service? And so IoT Central takes that burden away from developers and from our partners. It's being used by a lot of our solution developers. And importantly, what we've done is we've made it so that it is not just a fully managed app platform, but that it can be fully white labeled. And what we mean by that is we don't want IoT Central to come through. We want our partners' solutions and their customers' solutions to really shine through. And so we support full white labeling of this. And so you can have an operator-specific specialized offering built on top of IoT Central that just looks like your own brand, your own unique value proposition, and that comes through. And yet, you don't have to go manage all of those Azure services. It requires no cloud solution developer skills. We also have a very flexible two-tier pricing model that gets less expensive the more you use. So to talk about some of that in action, we have a partnership with Verizon where you see Verizon providing both the devices as well as connectivity, as well as Microsoft providing IoT Central, and then Verizon providing specialized application templates on top of IoT Central. And this combination of devices and connectivity and fully enterprise-grade secure cloud scale services that are being white labeled and then vertically specialized is really a magic combination. And what it means is that operator partners such as Verizon and others can get to market quickly. And we've even seen partners on top of that, like Cognizant, that are building on top of all of this between Verizon and Microsoft and offering specialized services on top of that. I mentioned earlier that this is not a winner-take-all market. This is a market of ecosystems and partnerships. And we've been very focused over the last decade of building out a rich set of partnerships, in particular in the operator space and beyond. And so you see some of the folks that we've been working with here in the operator space. For those that aren't on here, we would love to partner with you and make you a successful partner in our Azure ecosystem. I mentioned earlier this notion of a connected environment. It's fairly easy to understand what a connected asset is. Everyone's interacted with one of those or they've seen them. But what do I mean by a connected environment? Well, what we're starting to see is that as more and more businesses are taking advantage of assets, that it's not just the assets they're becoming interested in, it's the environment that the assets operate in. It's how those assets are distributed in that environment. It's the people that are interacting in that environment. It's the processes that are happening. So let me give you a few concrete examples. Many of our manufacturing customers started out as just wanting to optimize the assets in a manufacturing plant and improve the operational efficiency. But as they got good at that, what they started to want to do is to track the entire processing lines that are happening in there, the people that are working on those processes, the supply chain that's coming into the manufacturing plant, and the distribution that's leaving the manufacturing plant. Because all of those wind up being important levers and data points that are needed to optimize it. As you want to track one of these connected environments, the traditional approach that we were providing for connecting assets really needed a new set of capabilities to take advantage of connecting entire environments. I'll give another example of a connected environment, and that's a connected campus with connected buildings. In a connected campus, you're not just interested in the physical assets in it, like the HVAC units or the card readers that are gating access to the buildings. You're interested in providing breakthrough employee experiences and breakthrough service facility experiences for those environments. And I'm going to talk about in just a minute how Microsoft is taking advantage of this ourselves using all of these technologies. Connected environments really represents a massive opportunity for operators. It's a massive opportunity for 5G, for private 5G, and for many of the other things that operators are very good at and are bringing to market, and frankly, we're looking to partner with. So we have a system that we're bringing to market this year. It's already in public preview, and it'll be generally available this year at the end of October, which is Azure Digital Twins. And what Azure Digital Twins is it's a platform service that effectively enables you customers to fuse physical environments with a digital representation of that physical environment. Be that manufacturing plant with the supply chain and distribution center that I was talking about, be that the connected campus with all of those buildings. And Azure Digital Twins, while it's useful for assets, it goes beyond assets, right? It's not just about the assets in an environment, it's about the actual monitoring and managing the entire environment itself. It enables inputs from things like IoT Central, which we've been covering, or our IoT platform services like IoT Hub, as well as from third-party connected solutions. But then it also plugs into other Azure services, Power Apps, Dynamics, Teams, Office, and many third-party solutions. The insight there is that as you're building one of these connected environments, you're not just interested in the particular assets that are in that environment, but you're connecting to all of the business systems. Now, this might sound theoretical, but we're actually taking advantage of this ourselves at Microsoft. So if you were to visit our Redmond campus today, what you would see is that there's 17 new buildings that are being built from the ground up. And as we're building these buildings, we're building an entire digital replica of them using Azure Digital Twins. To understand why, you have to look at how our real estate and services team is currently managing the rest of the buildings on the campus. And the way that happens is that they actually have many different digital solutions. For example, they have a digital solution for the card readers. They have ones for the HVAC units. They have ones for the shuttles. And as they started looking at, how do we provide new breakthrough employee experiences, what they realized is that those silos fundamentally got in the way, because it meant that if I wanted to build an integrated solution where I check into the building, as I walk up to a door, it opens because it does visual, it knows me visually. As I walk outside, it'll signal that to the shuttle that I'm ready to go to my next building. If you want to do that, you wind up hopping across too many of these digital solutions. And so Azure Digital Twins is not only connecting to some of the new devices that we're putting in our smart campus, but it connects to all of the different vendor-supplied digital solutions. So it really winds up being this integration layer. And for operators, the incredible density of connections to physical devices that are happening in these new buildings from a variety of the vendors is an incredible opportunity. So we're building Azure Digital Twins along with all of our partners that are providing, elevators and HVAC units and shuttle services and card access and building security, and all of them are plugging into our campus digital twin. And then all of that is being powered by 5G connectivity to all of the rich devices that are happening across the campus. Now, with digital twins for us, we very much play at the platform level, but we have a rich ecosystem that's already started of providers such as Bentley. And Bentley builds infrastructure digital twins for smart cities, for smart heavy industry, for roads, for bridges, and they enable municipalities to connect to the digital representations of these to ask what if scenarios, to make sure that they're being used optimally. And they're building on top of Azure Digital Twins to provide that capability. Ansys is another company that provides simulation services on top of Azure Digital Twins. So it's a rich ecosystem. And frankly, we're looking for mobile operator support as well for Azure Digital Twins for connecting to that rich set of diversity of devices that we see powering these connected environments. Over the horizon, we see the next stage is going to be these connected environments. We're already starting to see, connected ecosystems, and we're already starting to see some of the early signals of that, where you've got some of our companies that are, for example, partnering with power utilities to get lower prices on their power bills by being able to turn off their heavy industry or their heavy power needs equipment in response to pending brownouts. So you start to see as these ecosystems start to get connected, it's going to be an increasingly connected ecosystem world. And I think all of that is an incredible opportunity for operators. We really encourage you to partner with Microsoft, to come build with us, to partner with us at scale, to learn more. We have a bunch of programs for, as I've already mentioned, for learning about our IoT offerings. We also offer things like IoT in a day, where you can spend a single day with us and understand everything that we're doing in IoT at a very deep level. And so I'd encourage you to check all this out. I look forward to meeting you, and thank you for your time. We wish you all the best. Stay safe.